After a year where the Criterion Collection keeps on releasing films that got everyone excited for, 2026 might be off to a great start for them. The Criterion Collection announced the film that they'll be releasing in January of 2026, where they'll be releasing a few films that are interesting, as well as a new Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project box set, and a few 4K re-releases, with one of them being one of the greatest films of the 21st century so far. So we're now actually going to go through what interesting films that they're actually going to be releasing in the month, and also find out if there's any new special features in any of them. So here are the films that the Criterion Collection will be releasing in January. I'm now on the website of the Criterion Collection, and for January we have a few interesting films to be released. One of them including a film that will release under Criterion Premieres with John Gigia's Caught by the Tides, which is a film that you can actually watch right now on the Criterion channel. And it's a film I'll probably see in the next few months, which the film was filmed over a period of a decade, kind of similar to the film that is made by Richard Linklater, Boyhood. So that would be something I would watch. So for this month, we have in total 7 titles, with 2 of them apparently being re-releases that will be released in 4K. For one of the new films that will apparently be released in January is actually a film that was actually put in the Criterion channel also in the past year, and it was very likely that this one would probably get a Criterion edition at some point. That film would probably be Jonathan Glazer's Birth, which is actually his second film overall, starring Nicole Kidman. And apparently, when I saw the film, I would just found out that the film is pretty much an isekai. Maybe because, of course, the boy in the film probably might have knew too much, but also that person was actually played by an actor from Vancouver, which is has a little local connection with that film. This one was probably going to be an interesting film, and you probably will see it because it has the things you would probably expect from a film by Jonathan Glazer. Maybe in the case of how it's presented, but also it's kind of interesting that he only made a few films in his career so far, but the most recent one he released was The Zone of Interest, released about 2 years ago, and although that film now is kind of getting mixed reviews now with recent events that happened, but for anyone who doesn't know what the film talks about, although I kind of said what it's about, but apparently, let's see how the Criterion Collection would describe the film. In Birth, John Glazer's second feature is a haunting cinematic enigma that explores the mysteries of the heart. Nicole Kidman delivers a masterful multi-layered performance as Anna, a widow still mourning the death of her husband a decade earlier when she meets Sean, a 10-year-old boy who claims to be his reincarnation, leading her into a wrenching confrontation with her own unresolved grief and desires. Featuring painterly cinematography by Harris Savides and a hypnotic orchestral score by Alexandra Despot. This is actually before, frequently working with Wes Anderson. Birth plays its outer premise with unflinching sincerity, yielding a profound emotional reverie on the possibilities of love beyond the physical realm. Not only Harris Savides, but apparently he also did the cinematography on another film that's also in the Criterion Collection, The Game, by David Fincher, which that's a great film, but also has a mind-blowing plot too. After you see that film, maybe kind of same with this film, Birth, which, yeah. But let's see what are the special features on the Criterion Collection edition of the film. This one is in 4K. There's director-approved 4K UHD and Blu-ray special edition includes a new 4K digital restoration surprise and approved by director Jonathan Glazer with 5.1 surround DTS HD Master Audio soundtrack. The film presented with Dolby Vision HDR. We have an interview from 2004 with Glazer and film star Nicole Kidman on an episode of Charlie Rose, a new documentary on the making of the film featuring behind-the-scenes footage interviews with Glazer producers and people that are in the film, a new program in the film cinematography featuring interviews with camera operator Frank Hansen and first assistant cameraman Eric Swanick. Those preview, English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and new cover by Neil Kellerhouse. So apparently there's a few new special features, although no new interview with with Jonathan Glazer on this, but the making of this film on this Criterion Collection edition of the film might be kind of similar to, let's say, the making of the David Lynch film Lost Highway that was included in the Criterion edition of that film, where we have a combination of like new interviews with archival interviews, but kind of presenting like how they made the film. But they do interview some of the people involved with the camera work in it, at least. But another interesting film that will be released in January is the original version of a film that was actually released recently, which may not have did very well if it was released. That film would be Kiss of the Spider-Woman, in which the original version has like William Hurt and Elizabeth McGovern, which you probably know in Downton Abbey, who plays like Cora Grantham in the show. While in the new version, which is the film version of the musical version of the film, it has like Diego Luna and Jennifer Lopez, which for the cover of this release, apparently you might think that it's actually they're releasing the remake, but apparently they're actually releasing the original, which kind of looks almost similar to the to the remake. Which let's find out what we got in this version release of, featuring invaluable performances from Raul Julian and a Academy-winning William Hurt. Oh, actually, William Hurt actually got an Academy Award for this film. Another great actor who has been in a few films, but also would have played Harrison Ford's character in in the recent Captain America film, like Captain America: Brave New World. But apparently, somehow he passed away before they were making that film. But yeah, another great actor. Spider-Woman is a work of radical compassion that broadly expands notions of love, gender, and evolution. In the film directed by Hector Babenco, following his international breakthrough with Teuxit, and adapted from the novel by the classic writer Manuel Puig Julia, and Hurt play Valentina and Melina, militant leftist activist and a queer-obsessed window dresser imprisoned together under a repressive military dictatorship. It's actually the person that made the book that inspired the film that actually started it too. Okay, that's very interesting. The two gradually forge a bond that transfers the way they both understand politics, sexuality, and masculinity, blending raw realism with Melina's imaginative escape to sumptuous movie fantasy. The searing human drama offers a powerful vision of personal liberation embedded within broader political struggle. This might be similar to the remake, except just doesn't have a lot of songs in it. You could probably do a double feature watching both the original version and the remake, which was released already, made it did very well. But let's find out what are the special features of the Criterion edition of the film. It has a new 4K digital restoration with 5.1 Sound HD master audio soundtracks. Apparently, the director probably didn't approve the transfer of this release. Either that he wasn't involved with it or he might have passed away. Alternate uncompressed mono soundtrack. The film been presented in Dolby Vision HDR. An interview with Susan Jill Levin, biographer of the person that is in the film and also wrote the book that inspired it. Manuel Puig about this adaptation of the film. A documentary about the making of the film from 2008 called Tangled Web. A short program on Puig, plus previews, English notes for the deaf and hard of hearing, plus an essay by critic Ruby Rich. New cover by Greg Ruth. So, maybe no new special features on this release, but it'll be an interesting watch if you kind of want to see that. Either you saw the remake before you see this one, or maybe you kind of want to see this before you see the remake. But, yeah. So, let's go to the rest of the new films that will also be released in January, which, okay, so apparently, there's actually these, they're actually also going to be releasing another box set of the Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project, which, of course, Martin Scorsese is a very, kind of, educates a lot of everyone about, cinema. Of course, when he talks about films in interviews, but also he apparently also pays homages to them, probably in his films too, and yeah, but also he's also kind of involved in the restoration of many films, especially the films made by like Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, which of course he kind of gets involved with the restoration of that through the Film Foundation. He also works with Michael Powell's wife and his editor Thelma Schoonmaker. So apparently apparently some of the films that are actually in these boxes apparently would later have like individual releases. And I think with each of the films in the box sets, he also puts does an introduction for each of the films. I mean, like one of the films that they released in the boxes was of course like the famous film from the Philippines, Manila in the Claw of Night, directed by Lino Brocka, which that was an interesting film to see. That when I saw some of his films, he probably is saying like he's trying to be maybe like the Francois Truffaut of the Philippines. But anyway, let's see what we got in this new edition of the Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project, which has 4 films in this box set. Let's see what they have. But for actually like the explanation about the box, apparently they kind of put this in I think in all the introductions of the previous box sets. But for anyone that is probably fighting about this collection of boxes for the first time, here's what is Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project. Established by Martin Scorsese in 2007, the World Cinema Project has maintained a fierce commitment to preserving and presenting masterpieces from around the globe with a growing roster of more than 60 restorations of works by central filmmakers. This collection set guides 4 groundbreaking innovative films ranging from the epic to the intimate. From Algeria with Chronicle of the Year's Fire, Burkina Faso with Yam Dabo, India with Kamadi, and Kazakhstan with The Fall of Qatar. Each title is a significant contribution to the art form and a window onto a cinematic tradition that international audiences present limited opportunities to experience. And the special features of this edition of the box sets. So it kind of goes through each of the films, what's in it, which goes into detail. So it has 4K digital restorations of all the films, overseen by the Film Foundation's World Cinema Project in collaboration with the Cineteca di Bologna, with uncompressed mono soundtracks, introductions to the films by World Cinema Project founder Martin Scorsese, new reviews featuring film scholar and producer Ahmed Bejaoui on Chronicles of the Year of Fire, film and African Studies scholar Abu Bakar Sanogo on Yam Dabo, and photographer Ramu Aravidan, who's the son of G. Aravidan, and film editor and festival programmer Bina Paul and Kamadi, plus a new program feature on the making of The Fall of Qatar, featuring interviews with director Ardok Amarkulov, film stars Tomishibal Duz Hamankulov, art director Yumar Zak Shamov, and film critic Gonara Ibikia, updating the subtitle translations plus essays for critics and scholars Joseph Fallon, Crystal Ulukoi, Ratik Arzukan, and Kent Jones. I mean, I'll eventually probably get one of these sets, but I mean, these are also kind of educational kind of experiences if you kind of want to learn about hidden gems in world cinema, which, of course, Martin Scorsese probably knows a lot about that. Now we kind of go to somewhere around the golden age of Hollywood, which apparently they're releasing a film directed by Michael Curtis, who you probably know directs many famous films, including Casablanca, that has Errol Flynn, which he was in some of the Robin Hood films back in the day, but he's in this film called Captain Blood, which also has Olivia de Havilland, another prominent figure in the golden Hollywood. But what's this film about? Oh yeah, this is from part of the golden age of Hollywood, because this was released in 1935. With a spectacular romantic adventure, a new era of Hollywood, Swashbuckling was born, as was a devilishly dashing star named Errol Flynn. He brings boundless charisma to the role of an idealistic Irish physician who declared a traitor to England and sold into slavery in the New World, takes his revenge by transforming himself into the notorious pirate Captain Blood. The groundbreaking symphonic score by Erich Wolfgang Korngold, marking the emergence of the Warner Brothers music department as a vital element in the studio movie makings. I mean, apparently before that, that put sound in their film, and that caused the that changed everything for of how films are made. And they did that with The Jazz Singer, starring Al Johnston. And this was before he did the things with blackface. The Spitfire chemistry between Flynn and Olivia de Havilland in the first of their iconic pairings, the rousing naval battle finale, all come together under the expert direction of Michael Curtis to form an explorative classic film craftsmanship sailing full speed ahead. So this is probably maybe Errol Flynn's first film, so maybe this probably makes sense for this one to be in the collection. But let's see where the special features on this edition of the film. So it has a new 4K digital restoration with uncompressed mono soundtrack. It's not presented in Dolby Vision HDR, or also doesn't have HDR in case. An audio commentary featuring Alan K. Rode made the book, Michael Curtis, A Life in Film, a documentary from 2005 on the making of the film, a radio play adaptation of the film from the Lux Radio Theater from 1937, starring Errol Flynn, Olivia de Havilland, and Basil Rathbone. Preview, English style host for the deaf hard of hearing, plus an essay by critic Farron Smith Nemi, new cover by David Towski. So, apparently no new special features for this, probably groundbreaking film, but probably an interesting first time watch when I eventually see this film. So, and then we have this film by John Huston, also going to be released, in January, called The Dead, which, I wonder what that film talks about. Let's find out what it is. I might have heard of the director, John Huston, but let's find out what it talks about. About In the Dead, the Atlantic last film by John Huston finds the legendary director adapting a mere masterly short story by his favorite writer, James Joyce, into poignant reflection on the totality of life. Oh, so this is his last film, and during a snowy winter turn of the 20th century Dublin, the members of an extended family could in for a night of wine, song, and celebration, but it's not until after the festivities that grown up played by Jennifer Huston reveals a secret to her husband, played by Donald McCann, cast the entire evening in a new light. Aglow with a mix of nostalgia and melancholy, and featuring a cast of stellar Irish actors, The Dead graciously evokes the passage of time and the haunting power of memory. Apparently, Angelica Huston's in this film, but she's the daughter of John Huston. So it's like the father apparently directing her, so that's... I wonder how many films Angelica Huston that she was in that apparently were directed by her father. We'll wait for that at some point. Let's see what the special features of the rendition of The Dead. It has a new 4K digital restoration series approved by director of photography Fred Murphy. With 4.0 surround DTS HD Master Audio soundtrack. The film presented in Dolby Vision HDR. An interview with author Colin McCann on the James Joyce short story adaptation for the film. A new 2K restoration of a behind-the-scenes documentary of the film by Lillian Severnich from 1987 called John Huston the Dubliners. Audio extras from film star Angelica Huston 2014 memoir Watch Me. English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, plus an essay by author and film critic Michael Korsky and a 1987 piece by screenwriter Tony Huston about the making of the film. New cover by Lynn Shapton. So it does have a new interview kind of going through the short story that inspired the film, as well as adapting it into a film, which, other than that, there's not a lot of these special features, although they did restore the making of the film, but it'll be kind of interesting to see this film, to kind of see, Angelica Huston directed by her father, John Huston. Out of the two films that'll be re-released in 4K in January, one of them being one of the greatest films of all time, which is also one of the greatest films of the 21st century, according to the New York Times, and the other being a Jim Jarmusch Western that has Johnny Depp in it. Those films are Yee and Dead Man, which, now, of course, Yee, this one was a film I kind of like to see, and but since now there's the 4K, I'll probably get that edition, and eventually we get the 4K TV, and then I can probably watch that, but I'll put the part of both films are probably going to be the same, packaging, although in the case of, let's say, for Dead Man, apparently it had, instead of putting it in a digipack when it was originally released, apparently they're putting it into a regular case. But I mean, let's just see if any information, if there are any of like, but I mean like, if everyone doesn't know what the film talks about, let's look through what happens in E. The extraordinary and internationally embraced E, directed by the late Taiwanese master Edward Yang, follows a middle-class family in Taipei over the course of 1 year, beginning with a wedding and ending with a funeral. Be kind of similar to what happens in the film Rental Family, which it's probably going to release later this month, I think. Which, based on what I know, it begins and ends with the funeral, but in this film it begins with a wedding and ends with the funeral. But oh yeah, and then you also have that film by Richard Curtis, which apparently was the film that caused like British cinema to kind of be like mainstream in North America, with 4 weddings and a funeral, starring Hugh Grant and Andy McDowell. And also plus the guy in the Mummy film series too, which I saw that a bit recently. It actually looks like an interesting film too to see. Where they're chronicling middle-aged father NJ's tentative flirtations with an old flame or precious young son, Yang's attempt at capturing reality with his beloved camera, the filmmaker deftly imbues every warm, gorgeous frame with its crafted clarity. Warm, sprawling, and dazzling, this intimate epic is one of the undisputed masterpieces of the 21st century. So, let's see, but apparently, 4K release of the film, it has a new 4K digital restoration with original theatrical 2.0 surround DTS:HD master audio soundtrack, as well as an alternative 5.0 surround DTS:HD master audio soundtrack. The film is not presented with HDR. The special features of this release are probably going to be the same, which includes an audio commentary, an interview with Tony Raines about Edward Yang and the new Taiwan cinema movement, and the film's real preview. But apparently the subtitles were apparently made by Edward Yang and Tony Raines, apparently someone before he passed away. So that was kind of interesting. Was around the time this film was released, which it might have been first released on DVD before it was released on Blu-ray, which, yeah. So let's see more information about Dead Man, which they said earlier, apparently somehow for the 4K re-release, they're actually going to put the cadence of the digipack. But let's see if I'll look at the special features of it. It has a new 4K digital restoration, super improved by Jim Jarmusch, 2.0 DTS HD Master Audio soundtrack, and the special features of this should be the same as when it was previously released on Blu-ray, which includes a Q&A where apparently Jim Jarmusch apparently answers questions that were actually sent by the fans through the Criterion Collection's website, which they did a similar thing when they kind of asked the fans to kind of send questions that Wes Anderson would probably answer, and other people that were involved in Moonrise Kingdom. That we answered during an audio commentary, the audio commentary of the film that is in the Criterion of that film, which is interesting audio commentary, but apparently, wonder when they're going to do that again for a release. Then you also have footage of Neil Young, who apparently also did score the film, actually making it. An interview with film star Gary Farmer, readings of William Blake's poems by members of the cast, including Millie Afatel, Marina, and Iggy Pop, accompanied by Jim's location scouting photos. Select scene audio commentary by producer Bob Zimbecki and Sam Fuan. Translated scenes, film's preview, colored photos from the film's production, plus an essay by film critic Amy Tobin and music journalist Ben Rapp. So I mean, this was a film I probably would like to see. I mean, I kind of saw a bit of it when I was doing an archaeology class in college. But I mean, if I was going to get this at a flash, so I'll probably get the Blu-ray version because it's presented in the digipack. Then on the 4K version, which apparently has just put in a regular case. I mean, with some other titles, they kind of did the reverse, where apparently they would actually, when it was originally released, it was put in the regular case, but then for the 4K, they put it in a digipack. Let's say, for example, Barry Lyndon, where they put that one, the 4K re-release in a digipack. And somehow, one note about probably for January, but apparently somehow a film that was supposed to be released apparently 2 months, actually next month, which is House Party. Apparently, somehow has been delayed now to January 27th, but I'm not sure why they might delay. But let me just see what they got about that. Apparently, they added more special features to us. We fixed the transfer. I know it looks like the special features are the same, so it might be something was happening backstage, maybe. But I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to find out maybe closer to release. And with that, those are all the films that'll be released by like the Criterion Collection in January. Now, apparently, while they did release a few big titles, but somehow most of them don't have a lot of these special features. I mean, although for the 4K re-releases they're going to be doing, apparently, at least for one of them, probably, I might actually get that release probably when a possible flash sale. But I mean, with but the Criterion edition of Birth apparently has some like maybe never before seen footage of the making of that film, which and of course if you did see the new version of Kiss of the Spider-Man, but want to see the original, well, now you have a chance to see it. And then it's got a groundbreaking film from with the Errol Flynn's first film with Captain Blood, and a new Martin Scorsese World Cinema Party box, which actually that one would probably something I'm probably excited for that about that. But I mean, apparently it's new Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project box set, which I'm probably very excited for, even though I didn't see the previous box sets yet. But I could probably get one of those box sets at some point. Oh, there's a probable chance that there might be a flash sale probably happening like this month. That interestingly, like just before I was about to record this, apparently like kind of got an email from the Criterion Collection that were apparently that they were because since I'm actually one of like the early subscribers of like the Criterion channel when the streaming service actually became like independent, because before that apparently they was part of like Filmstruck, which was handled by TCM, which has now been discontinued, and then now you have like the Criterion channel being available as a standalone streaming service, which does have benefits when you actually get it at the very beginning. Now, one of those benefits is apparently like when there was time they would do a flash, they would probably give me a coupon where you can get like $10 off your purchase. Of course, these coupons can be used at any time, even during a flash sale, and but also apparently on my birthday too, they would also give me a coupon as well too, which and also they also give me other coupons throughout, let's say when they do other sales too. But and since they have a lot of coupons right now, there's probably going to be using those coupons. That somehow recently they've been actually now been putting like expiry dates on the coupons, so there's probably another time I should use the coupons that I didn't use yet. And I'm going for this upcoming sale. I probably might get a lot of films, especially for sure the two Wes Anderson films that apparently have been recently put into the collection. And then maybe as well probably get the World of Wong Kar-wai set, because be the sequel to In the Mood for Love at 246, which was included on the in the box set. But I mean, of course, earlier this year I probably did the little video where I kind of gave my recommendations of like what films like you could probably get at, let's say, at a flash sale, and also going through the flash sale at the time, which was probably like, well, last winter. What you could do to be very successful during a Criterion flash sale, which one of the things you could do is probably like explore the page on the website where they kind of show like what films are available right now, and they kind of put them in groups where they kind of like curate which various films that have a common theme, or maybe like films with a specific director, and then you can like decide like what film you want to get to. But also, I mean, if you just look at all the films that the Criterion Collection has, you could probably at least like kind of find something you probably want to see. It's like kind of like going to the Criterion closet, or kind of like also going to a video store back in the day, where apparently you would like see something, and then you probably want to watch, and then it would be like a blind watch, and then you'll probably like you like the film, you probably want to explore more of the director that made that film. Also, you can apparently also like when you have like an account in the Criterion Collection website, you can also like put titles in your wish list, so that if, let's say, you want to, for sure you want to get these titles, you can probably like add them to the wish list, and then you like get the films like after that. Also, I mean, like, another you can probably do is also probably your like word of mouth. Let's see what people are talking about. Not just me, but also other people talking about the Criterion Collection and also physical media. It's kind of like some of my little advice of what to do during a Criterion flash sale, and that happened next week at the time that I'm actually recording this. Which, when it happens, I'll probably do another stream where I'm going to go through the sale and probably decide which films to get. But maybe also give some recommendations of films that they're probably going to sell too. I'm probably going to do that on Twitch when it happens, and also I'll probably eventually put that in the YouTube channel after that. Like which of the films that are at the Criterion Collection will release in January, and are you kind of very excited for the upcoming Flash show that will possibly happen this month? And you can like this video or subscribe to the channel, where apparently well, you can actually like the video, or you can put your thoughts in the comment below, and also like this video. And also probably maybe subscribe to the channel too, where I'll probably like talk more about the Criterion Collection and things related to film. But then I'll probably see you later. Bye everyone.